So the types of exception: compile time exception with some examples, runtime exceptions with some examples, and the exception hierarchy. So today we will see writing a program and see if what exception occurs, what happens, and the same program, then we handle it when such exception occurs. So exceptions can be handled using try catch finally block. This is it would be like try block. So try block, all these statements go here. So in this, the instructions that may lead to exception would be in the try block. When an exception occurs, the exception object is created by JVM and is thrown to handle. Handling section goes here immediately after try catching the exception. So here we handle the exception. So we can handle multiple exceptions here. So another catch block. If you want, you can put n number of catch blocks. And finally block would be after the catch block. So under finally block, we are going to maintain the cleaning of the resources. I mean, for example, if there is a file in D drive, we are going to open that file, put some data into it, then save the file, close the file. The closing the file goes in finally block. So here, when opening a file, for example, one of your friends have deleted the file from that path, then that file is not available. In that case, an exception occurs. That exception is handled in this catch block. How? By displaying a message that so and so file is no more available on the path that is mentioned there. So let me write one sample. Class exception demo with main method. So here I am going to write int a equals to 10, int b equals to 2, int result equals to a by b. Then I am displaying the result. The result is nothing but the result. So I execute this. 10 divides 2. The result is 5, and 5 would be displayed here. Yes, 5 is displayed. Now what happens if I make the b value as 0? So it means 10 divides by 0. So look there, the result 10 divided by 0 is infinity. So here, look there, java.lang arithmetic exception, that is division by 0, is happening here. So at this particular statement, a division by 0 is occurring, that is an exception actually. What exception? Arithmetic exception it is. So when such exception is occurring, what is happening? JVM is going to create that object and it is going to throw onto the console here. If you observe, this exception is occurring at line number 12. Line number 12. So once that exception is occurring, your program is terminated. Nothing is being executed after this. That is why system.out.println, the message, the result is also not functioning, not executed actually. So this is what when an exception occurs, that is your program is terminated abruptly. Now we need to use try catch mechanism to handle this. This is the statement that is resulting to exception. So this statement has to be put inside try block. So what I'll do is I'll cut this. Try, then catch. In try block, I am going to mention int result equals to a by b. So the thing is, result here cannot be resolved. The reason is my result is available only from try block beginning to this closing. So I will cut this or copy this, and result I am going to declare here with some value. And the same result I am using here, and the same result I am displaying here. Done. Now, when the b value is 0, an exception is occurred. So what I'll write is an exception. E. Here I am going to write system.out.println. I am going to write a division by 0 occurred. So better write with spelling. Then I am going to display e dot get message. So e dot get message. So get message is going to give a short description about the exception, and this short description is given by JVM, and this is my line, my message that is going to handle when exception occurs. Now I make v value as 2. It means 10 divides 2, the result is 5, and no exception is occurring, so 5 would be displayed in this. I re-execute this. Yes. Now I make the b value as 0, which means a divides by b, that is 10 divides 0 is exception, and that when such exception occurs here, now b equals to 0 will lead to exception, and this exception is thrown by JVM to catch block. My catch block gets executed, so it has an exception now, and I'm going to display it. So let me execute this. So here you can see a division by 0 occurred. This is my message. After that, e dot get message is nothing but JVM is supplying this. So what JVM is saying, a division by 0 has happened, and then I am displaying the result. That is, the result is 0 because the result I initialized with the default value as 0. So this is what happens to our program when try-catch mechanism is introduced. It means when an exception is occurred, then we are going to handle it, and the program termination of the program, and that was terminated abruptly without exception handling block, is now the program is executing completely without any abnormal termination. So that's what. So here, let me show you another exception e dot print stack trace. So print stack trace will give a detailed description of exception. A detailed description of exception. Let me re-execute this, save it, and I'll show you what print stack trace will give. So you can see here a division by 0 occurred, and this is my message. Then when I use the print stack trace, a print stack trace will give a detailed description of exception. This is given by JVM. What particularly java.lang.arithmetic exception, a division by 0 at so on so line, this line. So this is what the e.print stack trace will give us. So that's about introducing exception handling mechanism in our program. Similarly, we have while using try catch block, there are certain rules. The rules are try block should be followed by either catch block or finally block. It means after this try block, there should be a catch block like this, or there may be a finally block also like this immediately. I just cut that just to show you the try final. So both are valid. I undo this. Then try block alone cannot exist. I mean, try block alone writing like this does not exist. It should be either followed by catch or finally block. If you write only try block, JVM will throw an error. Try, catch, finally. The thing is, the sequence would be try followed by catch block, then followed by finally block. It's not like try, finally catch. No. And catch blocks can be multiple catch blocks also. Then try statement catch finally is invalid. I mean, there is a try block here and there is a catch block. In between this try and catch, writing here any statement, any Java statement, system.out.println, writing like this, any Java statements is not valid. It means if you write this, then it will throw an error. So there should not be any statement between try and catch block. Let me undo that. Right. So those are few rules you need to remember. And I would like to introduce another keyword. There is a keyword called throw. So throw keyword is used to throw a newly created exception object or an existing exception object. So this throw keyword we are going to use to throw. If you observe in our sample here, I did not use any throw keyword, throw arithmetic exception. So throw new arithmetic exception. Right. Spelling. Okay. So I'm not using any throw keyword here. The thing is JVM is going to throw that. Let me cut this. I can spelling mistake. I think. Check. Just hold on, I'm checking the spelling. Let me copy this. Yes. If we use this, then that should be the last statement. Yes. Maybe I made a typo error. So the thing is, we programmers also can throw exceptions like this. So what I'll do is I will comment these two. Observe that I am throwing that new arithmetic exception object here in catch block, and I re-execute this. So JVM is going to take this and display this. That is a detailed description about. Suppose what I'll do is I will put empty catch block here, empty catch block. So exception of course occurs because the B value is 0. In that case, what it is saying, look here, the result it is displaying 0 and no message about the exception details are displayed. The reason is here the exception is thrown and here catch block nothing is mentioned here. So it is blank. So it is not displaying anything here. The same thing if you say throw arithmetic exception object, new arithmetic exception, I know that when B value becomes 0, it leads to arithmetic exception because it is related to arithmetic. So when you write the statement here, it will display a full stack trace detail. So throw is a keyword to throw the exception object. Similarly, we have throws keyword. So the thing is, when an exception occurs, we can handle it two ways. One is by using try catch finally block. Of course, we have seen an example with this. Another way is I'm not going to handle it. I'm going to throw it just. Throws keyword. So throw, that is without handling, you are going to throw it and whoever is going to call that method, that method has to be handling this throws exception. So what I'll do is I'll write here and explain you. Yes, observe here. I have a main method. And in my main method, so what I am doing is my main method opens here, closes here. I have a try block opens here, closes here. Inside my try block, I am going to create call a method 1. So look here, method 1. What method 1? So throws keyword can be used along with method declaration. So method 1 is throwing some exception. Look here, my method 1 is from here to here. So my method 1 is throwing exception. So what is happening is now observe that my method 1 is throwing an exception. I mean method 1 has some block of statements where one of the statement may lead to exception. In that case, assume statement 2 is leading to exception. Assume. So statement 2 is leading to exception. In that case, generally what we'll do is we can put this statement 2 in try catch block. I mean, let me remove this. As of now, method 1 declaration is like this. Method 1 opens, closes here, and statement 2 may lead to exception. In that case, I need to put the statement 2 in try block. Try open try, close here try, and immediately catch block. And catch block here we are going to handle. Yes, here we are going to handle. So this is one way. Of course, we have seen by example. Now the thing is, assume I don't want to handle this exception. I want to throw that so that someone who is calling my method 1 should handle that. Then in that case, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this. Then I'm going to qualify this method with the keyword throws exception. Throws exception. Now there is no try catch mechanism in my method. So whoever is calling this method 1 will know that this method 1 is throwing an exception and we need to handle it. So in my main method, when I am calling this method 1 is throwing an exception. So I am calling this in try block, so that if this method 1 is throwing an exception, I am going to handle it here. So catch block here. So that's what throws keyword. Throws keyword is used with method definition. So a method will be throwing an exception when you are not going to handle it in try catch mechanism. Instead, we are going to throw it. And method 1, when I am calling from my main method, so if you are going to handle that, then you are going to put that in try catch block. Suppose if you are not going to handle it, like something like this. Method 1, he may throw an exception, but you are not handling. In that case, what happens is JVM is going to throw that exception onto the console then. So that is how the try catch blocks and throws keyword works. So what I'll do is I'll write an example of writing our own exception now. Custom exception we say. So let me show you custom exception. So the example what I'm writing is the age value I'm going to display. So I'm going to get the age value and I'm going to check if the age is positive value, then I'm going to display it. If the age is negative value, then I'm going to create an exception object, negative age exception, and throw it. So the thing is, age value is always positive. We know that. Whenever we supply a negative age, then it leads to an exception. Now I'm going to write an example of same. I go create class custom exception demo. With main method. Finish. So how to write an exception is, I came out of this class. Here there are some steps to do. Step 1, that is write a class and extends from exception. So negative age exception is my class. So I write negative age exception. Yes, negative age exception. So here I create a variable int age and I am initializing that. Step 2, write a constructor to initialize the age value. So I write negative age exception, and here I write, so I am passing the value here, int age, and this dot age equals to age. Done. Then step 3, override the toString method. So I say override toString method. I write here, there is no semicolon. Okay. Return a message. What? The value of age is, and I am displaying the age value over there. That's it. That is step 3. Now, what I am doing is, from my main method, I declare a variable int age, and I am getting that variable value somewhere from a method getAge. So let me ask Eclipse to create that age as getAge. Here you can see. Out of main method, return, I say 10. It means my age value will get 10. Now check the age. If age is positive, display it, else throw an exception. So what I'll do is, I'm going to write if age is less than 0, I need to, if it is negative, then I need to handle the exception. So if age is less than 0, I write here, if it is greater than 0, I just display it. The age is age. If it is greater than 0, I am just displaying the value. And here, if it is less than 0, then throw new. My exception is negative age exception. Negative age exception, and I pass the age value. You can see here. Observe there. I use throw new negative age exception, and I am passing the age value over there. Negative age exception is, yes, look here. Read this. No exception of type negative age exception can be thrown. An exception type must be a subclass of throwable. The reason is, my negative age exception which I just created, I did not extend from exception. I deliberately did not write that statement just to show you that error message. Now what I am doing is, my class negative age exception is exception. How can you tell to the JVM that this is an exception? By extending it from exception. Yes, done. My negative age exception is now exception. Now look here. Unhandled exception type negative age exception. It means when age value is negative, then I'm going to throw an exception. So when I write the statement, I have to handle that exception. I can handle that by mentioning it in try catch block. So what I'll do is try and here I go catch what exception and here I say e dot get message and here of course we can write our message also system.out.println the age is negative or better say age cannot be negative. Yes. So when negative age exception occurs, I am handling it. So let me execute this now. Observe the age value is 10. So it is displaying the age value as 10. So what is happening is my main method gets executed and age gets the value 10 from getAge. And 10 less than 0, this block is not getting executed. It is saying the age is 10. The age is 10. Now what I'll do is I make this negative minus 10 and re-execute this. Look there, the age cannot be negative. It is throwing a message, custom message. This is being executed. So what happens? Now my age is negative. So minus 10 less than 0. Yes, of course, this block gets executed. Here what is happening? I am going to throw a negative age exception. Then the catch block comes here. And here the age cannot be negative is being displayed here. So e dot get message is not displaying anything because this is my custom exception. JVM doesn't know about that custom exception messages. So instead writing our own message is enough. So e dot get message you are going to use with predefined exceptions. Yes. So that's about an exception occurring and we are handling it. And this exception is a custom exception, that is we are going to create exception, our own exception, user defined exception we say. So now the thing is, observe here, when age value is negative, then I don't want to handle it. So I comment this, comment this, comment this, comment this. So here, observe that unhandled exception, negative age exception. So do you want to handle it by using try catch block? There are two options suggested by Eclipse, you can see. There is an exception occurring here. So do you want to handle by surrounding it with try catch block? That's what I explained you just now. Suppose I don't want to handle it, then I can throw that exception. Look here, add throws declaration. Let me use this. So what is happening here? With my main method, because the code is present in main method, with my main method, a new this part is qualified with main method, that is throws negative age exception. What I'll do is now I say this program, now I execute this. Look here, exception in thread main, and the value of age is minus 10. This is nothing but this two string method we have overridden, right? So this. So the value of age is minus 10, and such exception occurred. So line 38. So this is how we use throws class with method declaration. So are you able to follow this? Throw keyword, throws keyword, try catch finally blocks, and two ways of handling exception. One is using try catch block, and the other one is I don't want to handle, I just want to throw, and whoever is calling the method, that person will be handling the exception. Is that clear? Hello, Mehboob, are you there? Hello, 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 Mehboob, are you there? Okay. Do you have any queries from this session? Exception handling, writing a custom exception. And let me add here step 4. That is step 4. Create an exception object and throw. Mehboob, I am done with my session today. If you have any queries, then you can get in touch with me because I want to get to my office, and I will upload this video on YouTube channel. You just browse through it. If you have any queries, we will discuss tomorrow.